Hello, and welcome to On Point. I really appreciate your time. Today's video is all about the Amputee Coalition's National Conference 2024. And as you probably know, I am a left below knee amputee, and I was so excited to get to go this year. The conference was held this year in Atlanta. And last year, it was too soon after my amputation for me to get to go, but I heard raving reviews of it, and so I was really looking forward to it this year. When I mentioned to friends that I was going to be attending the conference, I got puzzled looks, and someone finally said, so what do they do at an amputee conference? And I thought, wow, I think I'll do a video about it. So come along, I'll show you what we did. I'm going to go through each day and tell you what I did, how I felt about it, what brought me joy, what inspired me, and thereby fill you in on all the activities that were offered and what I partook in. We arrived in Atlanta on Tuesday, August 6th in the evening, and the actual conference wasn't scheduled to start until Thursday the 8th, but there were preliminary activities scheduled for Wednesday, which I really did want to be a part of. On Wednesday, there was an Amputee Coalition board meeting and a peer review training, neither of which applied to me. The exhibit hall opened at noon, and a portable lunch was provided there. Then there were fun class options to take part in. There was pickleball, martial arts, yoga, and line dancing. I signed up for yoga and line dancing all 3 days. They had adaptations for all different skill levels and modifications that would be needed depending on which limbs you might have affected. This is my two yoga instructors, Lucy Lomax and Heather Thamer. They were really knowledgeable, patient, and able to show all different adaptations. They always had one person sitting in a chair and showing, doing yoga from that position, as well as one on the floor. They run yogaforamputees.com, where they are currently holding classes on Thursday evenings for free. And they are in the process of getting those started, taped, so that you can visit the website and do them at your leisure. And here I am with the two dance instructors. This is Vala Holmgrenson and Kathy Beyer. Vala is an amputee. She has been affected in all 4 limbs from sepsis. And Kathy is a good friend of hers, and Vala was assisting her. Kathy leads country and popular line dancing classes for amputees, the elderly, and high school students. For lunch that Wednesday, there was a wonderful comedian that did a talk, and he does experience limb difference himself, and he did a really funny routine about what it's like being different than others, disabled, amputees, or those with other limb difference issues, and we did laugh. He was hysterical. Moving on to Thursday, starting off early in the morning, we had options of swimming, yoga, and rowing. And there was breakfast in the exhibit hall again. After breakfast, there were several roundtable discussions held, and we were able to choose from them. They included discussions on cancer, being a caregiver, diabetes and vascular diseases, limb difference, sepsis, infections, and trauma. I attended the yoga and the diabetes vascular disease roundtable. It was a really good discussion. Diabetes and vascular diseases are the leading cause of amputations. We had the opening keynote speaker, William Pike, speak just before lunch. He was a fascinating man. He is from New Zealand, and he experienced an amputation after he was in a volcanic eruption and his leg had been pinned. His climbing partner had walked back down a mountain and got help for him, and they had come back up the mountain to retrieve him and get him help. And he did end up losing one leg, and he continued climbing, and he has since done wonderful charity work working with youths. And he is also climbing again, and he has gotten back to the top of that same mountain. He showed us pictures of that, as well as many other trips. He has since started a medical supply company, Pro Armor, which makes these cool sock-like things for amputees. They cover the foot and go on up the prosthesis so that no sand and dirt can get in them when you're doing things like on the beach or maybe even hiking. Some of them come to go inside of a shoe, and some of them are made for when your other foot is barefoot, so they're more like just a plain sock. It is something I'm having my prosthetist here order for me, because it is such a necessary item for amputees to keep dirt and debris out of the mechanism of our foot, and to allow us to continue doing the activities that we enjoy. After lunch, there was more class options. They included martial arts, gaming, diving, line dancing, and pickleball. In the late afternoon, there were workshops, which included down and dirty practical applications of adapting, giving back, how to get involved with the Amputee Coalition, so everybody can move campaign. They advocate for the limb loss and amputee community. Their motto is physical activity is a right, not a privilege. And the impact of superbugs on the limb loss and limb difference community. Another option was, when I grow up, I want to be a prosthetist. Lessons learned over 30 years as a prosthetist. And I did attend that one. I just thought that there would be really cool stories. I'm sure my prosthetist could tell a few stories too. But this was Todd Clay, and he had wonderful stories from his own experience as a prosthetist. And he stressed how they really have to listen to the amputee to know what they want to do, and then it is their job to make it possible. There were more roundtable discussions next. These included above knee, below knee, complex, hip disarticulation, and upper limb. That evening, they held a celebratory reception, which included karaoke. I heard it was really fun. On Friday morning, August 9th, we could choose from yoga or swimming before breakfast. Of course, I chose yoga. A gait and mobility clinic was offered by Hanger Clinic almost all day, and you could schedule in 5-minute increments. And I did go in and have my gait assessed. It is rather awkward to have somebody film you walking a little course, and then they put it on a huge screen and play it in super slow-mo with strangers. It was a little awkward, but I did learn a lot, and the 2 therapists that were assigned to me showed me what they recognized in my gait, the ways that I could improve it, and they gave me a couple exercises that I could do on my own as well. That was very helpful, and they were fun. More workshops were then offered. They included 5.6 million plus, understanding the size of the limb loss and limb difference community, navigating insurance coverage, pain management and nerve care, and the world of adaptive sports. Then there was a talk on the main stage by Nicole Verkulen and Danielle Cummings on living your best life. Nicole is a disability advocate, a cancer survivor, and she's the current leader of So Everybody Can Move. She has completed the Boston Marathon twice and completed a 1,500-mile ultra triathlon, all as an amputee. Danielle is a third-year medical student, a triathlete, and community advocate. She stressed her belief that movement is medicine. She had a rock climbing accident in 2017, which led to 6 years of pain and frustration with different medical procedures trying to save her foot, and it was finally amputated last year. After lunch in the exhibit hall, there were more roundtable discussions to choose from. They included bilateral above-knee amputation, bilateral below-knee amputation, caregiver, partial hand and foot amputation, in wheelchair. After that, there were more workshops offered. Our choices were innovations in amputation care, traveling as an amputee, getting ready for an interview, policies and laws that impact us, and the future of the Amputee Coalition. I attended the travel workshop. I am really interested in that, and this was actually our first time traveling since my amputation. And there were a few things that I was slightly concerned, curious about beforehand, which all worked out well. Joy Burns led the class, and she is one of the founders of Wheel the World, a travel agency specifically founded to meet the needs of amputees and other disabled people. It's very extensive, the lengths they go to find the perfect accommodations depending on your needs, and they have their website, wheeltheworld.com. In the late afternoon, line dancing, crafting, and a class on building self-esteem were offered. Of course, I was line dancing. Friday evening, there was a dance party for everyone. Saturday, August 10th, was the last day of the conference. Kind of sad. Advanced swimming was offered prior to breakfast, and after breakfast there were several roundtable discussions to participate in. The rest of the morning was divided into 2 different sessions of workshops. The choices in the first workshops were college readiness and accommodations for students with disabilities, navigating devotee interactions, the travel workshop, getting to know the Amputee Coalition, caregiver, how to support while thriving yourself, and upper limb difference and loss. The next set of workshops were Amputee Coalition Resource Roundup, Sex and Intimacy, Social Media, and the Power of Mindfulness. Lunch was really special. It was a sit-down meal, and we had the most fantastic speaker. Blake Leeper is a Paralympic athlete. He has won several silvers and a gold at the last Paralympics, and he is currently in Paris competing for America in track and field. And you can bet I'll be watching. The lunch was delicious, but Blake's presentation was exceptional. He has such an inspiring story. He was born without legs and has led a full, active, successful athlete life. And that smile, he is just the most positive, uplifting person. The quote that stuck with me most from his speech was, "Your adversity is your advantage." And I am grasping onto that. I just see the truth in it and the ways that God has used my adversity, my amputation, for my advantage. I'm sure you have had adversity in your life that when you look back on it, you can see the advantages that came out of that. I guess usually at that final lunch, they disclose where the next Amputee Coalition National Conference will be held, and they did not do that this time. So we're all still a little curious, but looking forward to that announcement. One of the wonderful things about a conference like this is that there were over 700 individuals with limb loss and limb difference brought together in one place. And for a short time, those of us who normally feel we are the only ones in whatever setting we are in suddenly become the norm and average, normal. It's quite a different feeling. And that sense of community is really powerful. My husband Pat and I also took in a little bit of sightseeing while we were in Atlanta. We did get to visit the College Football Hall of Fame. I am a huge college football fan. Go Blue. And we also took in the Georgia Aquarium. That's fantastic. Had the best dolphin show. We also went to the Centennial Olympic Park several times. What a beautiful park in Atlanta. And it is centered around the theme of their 1996 Olympics held there in Atlanta. We also took a trolley city tour, which was very cool. We learned a lot of history, and we even got to get off at the site of where Martin Luther King and his wife, Coretta Scott King, are located, as well as the church where he and his father had originally preached. We headed back home on Monday, August 11th, and we were very grateful for this opportunity to connect with others and learn from those more experienced, as well as be entertained and see new technologies. If you're an amputee, you need to attend next year. There are some scholarships available from the Amputee Coalition for those who have financial need. My next video is going to be about my new shower leg. Woohoo! Standing in the shower again. See you then.